Al-Mukhtar al-Thaqafi. What a character, what a wonderful historical character of the first century of Islam. If you do not know Al-Mukhtar al-Thaqafi, you should follow this video until the end. Or if you know him but you haven't grasped yet the importance or the wonderfulness of this character also, please stay here to follow with me this story. Welcome to this video. It is about the history of Islam, the history Islam, where I mean here the development of a civilization, or in other words, of an ideology. And Mukhtar is a case in space. We should talk about it for at least three reasons. Because by himself, he is a character that gives body to what could have been those people in this period of the history of the Arab or the Muslim world, how this mix of Islamic values and tribal Arab noblesse were coming together into the history of Islam. Second, it is also important, al-Mukhtar history, because there was a social revolution. The beginning of the history of Islam, the first and the second century, were indeed plenty of a revolution with a sense, with a claim for justice, for social justice. And also the reason why this story it is important, it's because Al-Mukhtar al-Thaqafi tells us a lot about the development of a new sect in Islam, which will be the Shia sect, which today is the second most important sect in Islam. So let's go through this story. Let's see first of all who is Al-Mukhtar. Al-Mukhtar ibn Abu Ubayd al-Thaqafi was born into an Arab clan in the Arab Peninsula, in the tribe of al-Thaqif. Al-Thaqif tribe, a very important tribe in the town of Taif. Taif is an important place, part of the region where the prophetic mission underwent. Al-Mukhtar's family and his father in particular, Abu Ubayd al-Thaqafi, played an important role in the 7th century, right at the period of the conquest. He was the first Muslim commander appointed to lead the caliphal armies during the conquest of Iraq. He died finally in 634, fighting the Sassanian at the Battle of the Bridge. After his father's death, Al-Mukhtar was raised by his uncle Zaid ibn Mas'ud, who Ali Ibn Abi Talib, the fourth caliph, appointed as the governor of Madain, the former Sassanian capital. Al-Mukhtar al-Thaqafi, our hero, also held an official post during the reign of Ali Ibn Abi Talib. He was therefore an important character coming from a noble, we can say, Arab tribal family. He was in the camp of what we can call in this period Shiat Ali, the party of Ali, or also as historians call it sometimes the Alids, the supporters of Ali. He was definitely coming and was raised from this environment. He became known, is known in the history of Islam, especially in the history of Shia Islam, as the avenger of Imam Hussein, as we will see in our history. But from the point of view of historiography, it's also very important because he held a revolutionary movement, we can call it this way, which was successful for a period of 18 months, where he became the governor of Kufa, this important Alid city in the southern of Iraq. For some time he was the governor, de facto governor of Iraq. During this period, it is important because it was not just an uprising, but it was a state, a new state meant to implement an Alid ideology, an ideology that followed the example of Ali, which was considered the model of justice, which was also for those Muslims of the time kind of applying and continuing the spirit of early Islam, the real spirit of Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad. So you see that Al-Mukhtar is representing this pure spirit of early Islam, imbued with social, religious justice, and also spirituality. In fact, he did not only wanted to implement an allied state in the sense of applying the Quranic justice, but also he was fighting in favor of the integration of the new Muslims into the Ummah, into the Muslim community, into the Islamic State. In fact, he found the biggest support into the so-called Mawali. The Mawali were the new converted the new Muslims non-Arab. The period which followed the Arab conquest was marked indeed from a coming back of the tribal spirit, and the Arabs seems to have interpreted at the beginning Islam as their own religion. And so those that came into Islam as coming from different ethnic groups, they were treated as Mawali. This is the expression. Mawali means like the associated of the tribes. They were kept in a status of associated to the main tribe, as if becoming Muslim was to become Arab. This status of Mawali, Miwale, those that formally obey to one's clan or one's tribe, were a system, a juridical system that existed in pre-Islamic Arabia, where the belonging to a community was in relation to a tribe. You were whether into a tribe or a client or a tribe. So they were, in fact, those new Muslims discriminated, and the tribe Arabs were favored, were considered as to be the real Muslim having the privilege. So although they were freed as former slave, although they became Muslim, they never achieved the same rights. And Mukhtar al-Thaqafi, his revolution, gave rights to those people, especially they were Iranians, and they became indeed their own social base. Also, the experience of Mukhtar al-Thaqafi was important into the backward of the beginning of the transformation of a movement, of a political, social, religious movement. Those following Ali, the supporter Ali, into a different sect. In fact, the Mukhtar movement, the Mukhtar revolution, for the first time introduced the idea of a Mahdi. And because he claimed, as we will see, the Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, one of the sons of Ali, as being a Mahdi, a Messiah that will bring justice. He considered himself as the Wazir, as the representative of this Mahdi. We will see all that, so just keep tuned and let's go into the context of this story. Let's see first of all the historical context, and then we see a little bit what happened with this experience of the Mukhtar Shia state. And finally, we see how this developed into a new conception after the failure of this experience. So what was the historical context? This is first of all what we should talk about. We should put to this story a frame, an historical frame. We are in the period known historically as the Second Civil War or Second Fitna. Indeed, the Muslim world witnessed, after the death of the Prophet, two periods of turmoils that lasted until all the period of the so-called Umayyad dynasty. The first civil war ended in 661 with the victory of Muawiyah ibn Sufyan over Ali ibn Abu Talib and his son Hassan. let's remember that Ali Ibn Abi Talib was the fourth caliph, but he was disputed by Muawiyah. And then after he died during, Ali ibn Talib died during the event, Al-Hassan, his son, Ali's son, renounced, abdicated to his claim to the caliphate in favor of Muawiyah. Muawiyah went on to establish an hereditary system of power, a dynasty, the so-called Umayyad dynasty. This is important to highlight because in Islam, in the first period at least, and even before, there was not such a conception of a dynastic inheritance of power. In Arabic, they call it mulk, which is gives sense of property, as if the king was having a property over his own state. This idea was not at all in the mind of the Arab tribes and neither into the Muslims' mind, because the tribes were in a sense democratic. They elected, they appointed their own leader, their own chief state, we can say. And there was not this idea that the son of the previous leader or governor should automatically success to his father. So it was quite shocking for the first Muslims, Muawiyah move. So that when Al-Hassan signed this treaty with Muawiyah, he did it on the condition that he should take power. Al-Hassan ibn Ali, Hassan, the son of Ali, should take power after Muawiyah. Oh, more precisely, he said that after Muawiyah death, the Muslims should go back to a system of shura. In a sense, should be elected a new caliph, a new head of the community. But Hassan died before Muawiyah, probably poisoned. So Muawiyah made his effort to impose his own son Yazid as his own successor. He succeeded kind of to secure the oath of allegiance to his son. He gained the acceptance of most of the notables and tribal leaders. Of course, there was not a consensus in the sense of a real consensus. It was kind of buying off those tribes through bribes or to force, to imposing this succession. However, Yazid, when he came to power, he was not accepted. And the old conflict of the first fitna between the descendants of Ibn Sufyan, the clan that had opposed Muhammad, and the Ansar and the Muhajirun, those that had supported Muhammad in his message, came out again, came on the surface again. And two characters emerged as challenging the Umayyad dynasty. In particular, they refused to give an oath of allegiance to Yazid ibn Muawiyah, the son of Muawiyah. The first one is Hussein ibn Ali. The second one is Abdullah ibn Zubayr. Hussein is the son of Ali, was another son of Ali after Hassan, and Abdullah ibn Zubayr was the son of Zubayr. Zubayr was an important companion of the Prophet. Hussein was the son of Ali, is himself an important companion, even more important companion of the Prophet, both also linked to family linkage. So both men rose against Yazid. The first one was Hussein. Hussein and Ibn Zubayr, they went to Mecca to be protected from the sanctuary, the inviolable sanctuary that was for Muslims in Mecca. But he moved towards Kufa, the Alid capital, once he had been adverted that the inhabitants of Kufa, would support his claim for caliphate. He had indeed sent his own cousin, Muslim Ibn Aqil, to verify the Kufan support. He also tried an uprising, Muslim Ibn Aqil, in preparation of the arrival of Hussein, but this was discovered by the governor, by the, the by the governor of Kufa, and he was finally put to death. So this revolution failed at the beginning, but Hussein was not acknowledged of this of the evolution of the events. So he went on the road to Kufa with a small number of followers, basically made of his closest friends and family. So when he get close to Kufa, he was welcomed. He was awaited from a big army from Ubaydallah ibn Ziyad, who dispatched a large force and intercepted him in the city of Karbala. Ubaydallah ibn Ziyad was the governor, the Umayyad governor in Kufa. So he intercept Hussein in Karbala in 680, after trying a kind of negotiation, he killed him and all his followers in a very dramatic way. This event is very important for the future of Islam, especially for the development of Shia. It had far-reaching consequences, in fact, on the development of the Shia, and also reinforced the idea that the Umayyad were impious and godless oppressors. This is the narration which we do have still now in the contemporary Muslim world about the Umayyad, which is even stronger for the Shia side, of course. This was also a big sacrifice, which for Shias is the supreme example or the pattern of suffering and martyrdom. Al-Hussein, in other words, was the symbol of the Shia suffering, and he had to be vindicated. This was what Mukhtar came to do when he tried to make his revolution in Kufa. So this event was the first big important event in the context of the second civil war of the Fitna. In the meanwhile, we have also Ibn Zubayr claiming the caliphate. So in this moment, the Umayyad were reduced to more or less the Syrian side of their caliphate. They lost most of their territory. Ibn Zubayr claimed the rest of the caliphate. He was successful in that. And after Ziyad died, after a few years, he also had there was a new Umayyad caliphate, Muawiyah II, who died after a few months, giving rise to a period of completely decadence for the Umayyad. So Ibn Zubayr from Mecca, he made Mecca his capital, extended his caliphate to almost all the Muslim territory. But in the same time and in parallel to the Karbala massacre, in Kufa, the Shia, the Alite movement started to develop as in relation this idea of getting vindicated of the martyrdom of Hussein against the Umayyads. The first movement that came out of Karbala was the so-called movement of the Tawabun, or the penitents, people that repented, that they did not come into help of Hussein. So those people, in a kind of pious attitude, organized themselves and went to confront the Umayyad troop. into the famous battle Ain al-Warda, somewhere between Syria and Iraq. They were defeated, they were utterly defeated, but the few survivors of the battle went back to Kufa and joined al-Mukhtar. Mukhtar, he tried first an alliance with the with the um, with Abdullah ibn Zubayr in Mecca, but it was only a tactical alliance. He helped Ibn Zubayr to defend Mecca when the Umayyad troops came to besiege it, but then he left Mecca, went to Kufa, and he started to plan the revolution. His revolution. It was against the Tawabun movement, because he thought that was not well prepared, also because he had in mind not only to vindicate al-Hussein, but to establish a state with with ideology, with the idea of perpetrating the ideal of justice of Ali Ibn Abi Talib, or in other words, the Islamic State in a proper sense against the Umayyad Ibn Zubayri that were just any were just destroying, were just taking out of the pathward, of the straight word. So Mukhtar, he started to organize his revolution. He was able to rely on the majority of the Kufan population. We said that Kufa population was a city where there was the bulk of the Alite support. So he created a kind of coalition between, on one side, those Arab troops that supported Ali before, and that therefore were shocked by Hussein and were outraged by the Umayyad government, by the Umayyad rule. But he also was supported by a new political faction, new social faction, the Muawiyah. The Muawiyah, as we said, were those people, freed men, mostly from Iranian origins, that found themselves in Kufa because they had been bought during the Arab campaign of conquer of these areas. Some of them came also spontaneously for commercial reason, or for reason to come into those fertile areas to find jobs and to find trade, commerce. Anyway, there was an important Mawali community in Kufa that was, however, discriminated in the relationship with the Arab tribes, although they became Muslims. But Mukhtar was able to rally them with him because of his new message, messianic message of bringing justice to the poor, to the downtrodden, to the weak. He succeeded, therefore, in 685 to make a revolutionary uprising that was able to send back the governor of the Zubayrid. We are now under the caliphate of Zubayr ibn Zubayr, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, and he created his own state. So what happened, therefore, in the Mukhtar Shia state? How was he able to implement his own plan, his own ideology? Let's say that the Mukhtar state, the people that pledged allegiance to to Mukhtar, they did it on the base of a specific political religious program, as we said. On the one side was the revenge of Hussein, so the engagement on the vengeance for against the killers of al-Hussein. This was the first engagement that people took in the oath of allegiance. Secondly, they also swore to uphold the Sunnah, the tradition of the Prophet, and the Quran. And third, they also swore to protect the weak. So you see why this is a revolution, because it was in this sense applying what he saw an Islamic State, which in his mind was perpetrated through the example of Ali Ibn Abi Talib, the symbol of justice, the one that really had transported with him and hold with him the real message of Islam. So this is the beginning of the development of Shiism. You see that. But what he did also was that he claimed power as the wazir, as the envoy, the representative of Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. We should say two words about that. After the Battle of Karbala, almost all those belonging to the family of Ali, and so this branch of the family of the Prophet, almost all were killed. And there were two characters that could likely be considered as the heirs of the family. On the one side, we have Ali ibn al-Hussein, the younger of the Hussein children that survived Arbala. The Shia Imami, they call him Ali as-Sajjad, very pious person. Sajjad is the carpet where you salli, where you pray. The other one was Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, who was Ibn Ali. He was Muhammad ibn Ali, another brother of Hussein, another son of Ali, but from Hanafiya, another wife of Ali, different from Fatima. You see, the Shia that followed in the centuries later, especially from the sixth Imam onward, Jafar, from Imam Jafar, they find the chain of the Imams from the Prophet to the 12th Imam, or to the 6th, or to the 5th, according to the different trends. They established this chain following Ali and Fatima. So all those descendants from this marriage. The other one were not considered like Imam. And Muhammad and Hanafiya developed this branch in a different way. Of course, in this time, there was not this idea that the Imam should forcibly be from the Fatima chain of inheritance. That was not the idea yet. It's something that was built up later on. So many of the Shia followed Muhammad ibn Hanafiya. There was also another issue. Ali as-Sajjad, the other son of Hussein, he started a new way of being Shia, being an Alite. It was not anymore by fighting, but holding the swear and claiming the rights of his father, of his family by revolution, but he started a new type of Shiism that was quietist, non-political. It focused on gnosis, on knowledge, on the idea that the Imam, they preserve the knowledge of Islam, the knowledge that came forward from God towards the Prophet. But this was a chain, it was a wing of Shiism that developed really only after the sixth Imam, and even later on during the Abbasid period in the next century. In this century, there is still a big claim of vindicating the rights of the family through revolution. And Mukhtar al-Thaqafi was able to gain kind of the support of Muhammad al-Hanafiya, and he went to Kufa and he made his revolution, claiming that al-Hanafiya was the Mahdi, the Messiah, the liberator, the one that came to bring justice to the people. So you see, this is something new in the history of Islam, something new, a new ideology that came to have a big success later on, especially within the Shia mentality, the Shia ideology. And therefore, Mukhtar himself was considered a character that was tainted of mysticism. So also very, it was very courageous. We said he was very known as being very, very skilled in war, and he was a warrior. He was a very Arab leader, tribal Arab leader, a very important warrior with charismatic elements in it, but he was also very mystic. So within himself, within his public, his supporter, especially the Mawali, the Iranian ones, developed the myth of Mukhtar as being Masoom, as being someone that will never fail. So an almost godly leader. This, of course, is also what came to be developing into those trends within Shia that it is known in history as the Hulat, the extremists that brought the idea of Ali further and further until they made him a sanctity. They made of Ali and of the Imam something that was more likely a divine figure than an historical figure. So all that was developed in the Mukhtar Thawra. But what happened indeed? Did he apply his program? Yes, he did. He vindicated Hussein, the Hussein killers. He killed them all one by one. And did he apply the Sunnah and the Sharia? Yes, he did, especially in what this important side, the applying justice and supporting the weak of society. Did he apply the equality between the Mawali and the Arabs? Yes, it did. And this was probably the reason. For most historians, there was also the reason for the decline, for the failure of his revolution. His Arab notables, started to not to be happy with this part of the program. They disliked, in fact, the Mawali, and they did not like the privilege that Mukhtar started to give to them, even more of the slaves that once belonged to those Arab notables. They were freed, they became part of the army, they were given salaries, they were given the same privilege that every Muslim. They became the bulk really of the Mukhtar state. But this created division. And on the long term, a good part of those Arab tribes, they defeated the Mukhtar camp and they went to al-Zubayri camp. They almost 10,000 of those warriors defeated from the Mukhtar army, and they joined Musad ibn Zubayr army that was in Basra. And finally he came to Kufa and defeated Al-Mukhtar, not without a big resistance. All the Mukhtar wars were very heroic. He was crushed between the Umayyad on one side in Syria and the Zubayrid on the other side from Saudi Arabia, but was able to resist for a long time. He also defeated the Umayyad army in Mosul that was led by another mythical figure of this period of Islam, which was Ibrahim ibn Ashtar. Ibrahim ibn Ashtar, the son of Malik al-Ashtar, another of the Ali Ibn Abi Talib champions and chief supporters, very famous in this first century of Islam. He came to support the Ali camp. He also gave a lot of credibility among the Arabs. He was an Arab that mostly joined Mukhtar also because of Ibrahim. But at the end, the contradiction of this revolution also created the condition for his failure. But what was the consequences at the end of this experience? What did the Mukhtar revolution, the Shia state, the Mukhtar Shia state left us as inheritance? It did leave indeed a big inheritance in that this experiment of a revolution made of more Mawali and of Arabs with a mix of Islamic ideology based on justice was a model that succeeded later on in the so-called Abbasid revolution that finally defeated the Umayyad, gave rise to a new dynasty, the Abbasid dynasty. If you like to know more about the revolution, Abbasid revolution, let me know. We make a video eventually. In 750, the Abbasid revolution came from the seeds of the Mukhtar revolution. Why do I say that? Because the movement that came out of the Mukhtar revolution was called the Qasainiya, a new trend within Shia that claimed the continuity of the imamate from Al-Hanafiya to the Hashimiyya. a new branch of the Prophet family. So they believed into it. They kept holding the banner of revolution and of Ali justice, and they converged into the Abbasid revolution that gained against the Umayyad finally in 715. But most importantly, the Mukhtar movement, as we said, introduced new ideas, which will be part of it absorbed by Shiism. Shiism will become later on a quietist movement, as we said, with the Abbasid. After the Abbasid revolution, the Qaisaniya finally were absorbed into the mainstream Shiism, which became quietist. But certain ideas were also absorbed into mainstream Shiism, as we said, the idea of the Mahdi. In Shia Imamism, the majority of Shiism today, Orthodox, is the idea there is the 12th Imam, the later one that went in occultation, and then is called the Mahdi because he will come back. He will come back according to the belief of the doctrine of the Raja, the return to life before the day of resurrection. Muhammad Hanafi, indeed, after he died, was believed that he went to occultation, to Ghaib. Same idea that came back with the 12th Imam. The 12th Imam, the Imami Shia, the 12th today believe is in occultation, and then is also a Mahdi because he will come back the day of resurrection to bring back justice on earth. If you like this video, please put like. It helps to make the video to circulate, and if you are new to the channel, please join and join to the channel. See you to the next video.